Welcome! This video will be about painting the eyes of a garage kit. So there's a lot riding on getting the eyes right. While on Japanese Twitter, I saw a lot of images like this, and I was curious how they were doing it. So after some searching and some asking, it's been commonly known as the enamel eye technique. It kinda needs a cooler name, but that's just me, and it's really popular with Japanese painters. To first simplify it, you basically use lacquer paints and enamel paints as a way to create details in a different way than if you were just using lacquer, just using enamel, or even acrylic. And their thinners and chemical makeups don't really affect each other like how lacquer and acrylic do. The easiest way to look at it is think of it as Photoshop layers, but you can never go back and edit what you previously worked on. So it's a great way to add a lot of little detail. The kit that I'm working on is a 1/8 scale of Ibaraki Doji from Fate Grand Order. So starting off, I'm doing the outside details of the eyes, and I'm doing that with a orange base. Starting off with orange, it helps smooth the transition from the skin tone to the black that I will be painting later. I'm using orange because I mixed a warmer skin tone. If this was a cooler skin tone kit, I would probably start with pink. And if I paint too much, I just use that little swab or Q-tip soaked in enamel thinner, and I'm able to wipe off any of the mistakes. So now that the orange we just painted is sealed, I've sprayed my clear coat of lacquer, it is dried, I'm now going to use blue poster tack to mask the orange that I just painted so that I can paint black over it in a bit of a gradient. So now that everything is masked out, I can go in with my airbrush with enamel paints and kind of create like a nice little gradient over the orange we just painted to soften it even more. And now the fun part, peeling off the blue tack. Remember to be careful because bad things can happen during this stage if you're not careful. And as you can see, I was not careful. I accidentally pulled up the white enamel paint from 2 layers ago, along with some of the black paint that I just painted. So that was fun, and now I have to go and redo that. So we're back. I went back and painted the whites of the eyes again and fixed up the mistakes from the previous round. Sometimes it happens. It's paint. You can always paint more. So now I've painted the actual, like, outside of the eye, and now we're gonna go in with more blue tack and mask just the iris of the eye, which is what I like to call the nightmare stage, because it always looks horrifying. An overall coat of Tamiya clear yellow enamel paint. And now I am adding, just at the top, some clear orange just to make a nice gradient. Now we will gently remove the blue tack and see how everything looked. And we didn't pull up any paint this time, thank God. So now that that's all set, I will now give it another layer of clear coat just to seal in all of the work we've done. So now I am going in and painting the small details like the pupils of the eye. So now that everything underneath has been sealed in with lacquer paint, I can now go in and paint super small details like the pupils and the eyelid folds without having to worry about affecting anything underneath. help give the eyes a bit more depth, I went in with a swipe of Tamiya Smoke, or Clear Black, and then on top of the eyeliner line, a swipe of Clear Red as eyeshadow. Finished, there's one last thing to do. They got one more coat of clear gloss, let that dry fully, and now I'm going in some liquid masking just to cover the eyes. That way when I do a matte top coat over the rest of the skin, they're still nice and shiny and beautiful. Careful, take them off. And there we go. Ta-da! That's how I paint eyes. Thank you for watching. I hope that this was a nice explanation on how this technique works and a good visual representation. There are links in the description to other videos of artists that have been using this technique way longer than me and how they do it.